What's up, everybody? So the Kanto Cup is in full swing in Go Battle League right now, and when you're talking about Pokemon from the Kanto region, you cannot leave out Charizard, right? Now Charizard is arguably the most iconic Pokemon from Kanto, if not from all regions put together. So, which is why I decided to put it to the test in this team comp alongside Alolan Raichu and Wigglytuff. And honestly, Charizard and Alolan Raichu form a really destructive combination, and between the two can absolutely destroy almost everything that you're going to run into. And Wigglytuff is basically going to be your generalist, which is going to basically hold this team together and also provide protection against dark and ghost types, which Alolan Raichu is going to be weak to, and also against Dragonair and other dragons, which both Charizard and Raichu would kind of struggle against, right? And like I said, this team has been working really well for me, some really exciting battles in here, and let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. I'm going to be leading with my Shiny Charizard, with Alolan Raichu and Wigglytuff in the back. And also I'm going to be running Fire Spin as the fast move on Charizard and not Dragon Breath. And that's because I prefer Fire Spin for the Great League. So we have Charizard into an Alolan Marowak. So pretty interesting matchup. But they're running Hex, which is not great for us because that's hitting for neutral. And I'm going to try and go for the Dragon Claw here. Now, Blast Burn is definitely more energy efficient in this matchup, even though it's resisted. But I'm going for the Dragon Claw to hopefully bait out a shield, which we get it, which is fantastic. And I'm going to shield this up as well because Shadow Bone or Shadow Ball would do quite a bit of damage. It is a Shadow Bone, so good thing we shielded that. And now I'm going to go for the Blast Burn, right? Now, they're going to throw another Charge Move right now. This is just going to be a Bone Club because it was too soon to be anything else. It is just a Bone Club, which is fantastic, which is resisted. And now I'm going to go for the Blast Burn, right? Now, even though this is resisted, it's still going to do massive damage to this Alolan Marowak. And as you can see, it does about 40% of Alolan Marowak's health there, which is pretty significant. And now it's perfect, right? I'm going to shield this up as well because this could be another Shadow Bone. And because I can now completely farm the Alolan Marowak down. So even though we're down a shield, we should be able to win switch advantage and have energy advantage here. And again, Charizard with loaded energy should be able to get the shield back, right? So they come in with Alolan Raichu. And I'm going straight for the Blast Burn here. This is definitely going to get the shield from the Raichu. And yeah, they're going to probably get a couple of volt switches worth of energy. So I'm probably going to come in with Wigglytuff here because Charm would do quite a bit of damage to the Alolan Raichu, which is pretty glassy as well. And this is probably just going to be a Thunder Punch because they just did about 3 volt switches. And it is a Thunder Punch, which is fine. And now I'm going to try and catch the next Thunder Punch onto my Alolan Raichu, but we actually make a simultaneous switch. They make a switch into their Lapras. I go into my Raichu and I'm going straight for the Wild Charge right now. Right? They have no more shields. So this is pretty much going to one-shot it. Obviously super effective because of the water typing. And it's GG's at this point because now all I have to do is get to a Thunder Punch here. This is probably just going to be another Thunder Punch. And even though our defense is lowered, we should be able to survive it. Does put us pretty low, but we should be able to get to this Thunder Punch here and take out the Alolan Raichu. So that was pretty close there. I mean, if they'd farmed my Raichu down, then they could have gotten off a Thunder Punch on my Wigglytuff. So that was a little close, but luckily we were able to pull it off there. So as you can see, Charizard can really match up against Alolan Marowak as well. Especially, considering that Blast Burn, even though it's resisted, just does so much damage in that matchup. So moving into the second battle here, we have Charizard into a Raticate. Again, very interesting matchup this. The first time I'm running into a Raticate this season in Kanto Cup, and I have no idea what it has as its charge move. So I'm going to try and bait with Dragon Claw. I built up to a Blast Burn, so hopefully we should get a shield from them, but they actually let that go through. That was very gutsy, right? So I'm going to try and completely Fire Spin farm this thing down. And I'm definitely going to shield this because, like I said, I don't know what this move is. Probably just a normal type move or Dig, which is, again, that would have been resisted, but it's fine. We're able to take it out here. And they, again, come in with their Alolan Marowak. And I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw, right? Again, even though it isn't going to do that much damage. Let's see if it gets the shield there. It does get the shield, which is fantastic. And now because they shielded that, I'm going to now go for the Blast Burn. And this is obviously going to do massive damage to the Alolan Marowak. And yeah, now we've basically got it down by about 50% health, which is really good. So I'm going to let this go through. It's absolutely fine because now this Alolan Marowak is in Charm farm down range, right? Now, even though Charm is resisted and Wigglytuff doesn't have a great matchup against it, from this point on, we can easily Charm down, right? So, and also the best part about the Wigglytuff Alolan Marowak matchup is that you don't have to worry about the charge moves because, again, Shadow Bone is double resisted. They actually make a switch into their Hypno, and I'm going to go into my Alolan Raichu here. Now, Alolan Raichu has a pretty positive matchup against Hypno because those confusions are resisted because of the psychic typing. And I'm going for the Thunder Punch here. Don't want to go for the Wild Charge and then risk getting debuffed this early in the matchup. So I'm going to let this go through. Probably just going to be a Thunder Punch or an Ice Punch. It is just an Ice Punch, which is fantastic. And now I'm going to go for the Thunder Punch as quickly as possible here. This is definitely going to take out the Hypno if it goes unshielded. Let's see what they decide to do. They actually let that go through, which is fantastic. And now it's just GG's, right? I can probably just completely Volt Switch down. And I'm just going to let this go through because one charm from my Wigglytuff should pretty much take it out. We have so much health on our Wigglytuff, so yeah, charm is going to take it out and we're able to take the win there. So even though Wigglytuff in general doesn't have a great matchup against Alolan Marowak, if you can bring the Alolan Marowak down by about 50% health, then Wigglytuff can definitely go up against it, right? Because Bone Club does very minimal damage, and obviously all of its ghost type moves are resisted, double resisted as well, which is why it's a pretty positive matchup basically. So we have Charizard into Snorlax, a pretty interesting matchup again. So in this matchup, I like to go straight for the Blast Burn here because most people typically don't like to shield their Snorlax. And I'm not going to shield the Body Slam, I'm not going to shield the first one because we can definitely survive it. And unfortunately, we face a little bit of lag here. And you'll see something interesting happen right now. We basically benefit from the third shield glitch, right? This kind of thing happened to my opponent like earlier in one of the other battles in one of the other sets that I did. But yeah, I benefited this time, but it's really unfortunate. You definitely don't want to see that kind of stuff, right? We actually take the Snorlax out with Blast Burn. So at this point, we're in a very positive situation. They come in with their Alolan Marowak again. I'm going to go for the Blast Burn here. And this is probably going to get the shield from the Alolan Marowak. I want to get off another Blast Burn in this matchup. So I'm going to shield this because this probably could be a Shadow Bone or a Shadow Ball. So yeah, I'm going to shield this. It is just a Bone Club, unfortunately. But I really need to get off this Blast Burn to make sure that I put this Alolan Marowak into Charm Farm Down range. So I'm just going to go for the Blast Burn here. And yeah, does get the shield once again from the Alolan Marowak. So I'm going to let this go through this time. No point shielding this. Yeah, it is just a Bone Club. So I'm immediately going to switch into my Alolan Raichu right now so that they don't farm us down. I'm going to try and go for the Thunder Punch as quickly as possible. Luckily, we were able to get to a Thunder Punch just in time here. There's probably a CMP. They were probably at a Bone Club as well. And Thunder Punch is going to take out the Alolan Marowak. And basically, they have a Hypno in the back, right? Absolutely perfect. I'm going to go for the Wild Charge immediately. Probably could have built up to 2 and then gone back to back, but I'm just going to go for it because we still have a full health Wigglytuff in the back and there's no way they're going to win against us, right? So I'm going to, yeah, at this point, we can get to a Thunder Punch as well, which is fantastic, and then it's going to take out the Hypno. So we probably didn't even need Wigglytuff in this matchup. Basically, Charizard and Alolan Raichu were enough to take it out, and basically we won with all 3 Pokemon and a shield left, which is exactly why this team can be so dominating. I mean, especially if you can line up the matchups correctly, it can absolutely destroy, right? So it's just so much fun to use, basically. You know, it's just both Charizard and Alolan Raichu, both of them just hit like a truck, which is why it's just a lot of fun. So we have Charizard into an Alolan Buck this time. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try and catch the Dark Pulse with my Wigglytuff here. So I'm going to switch into my Wigglytuff to catch the Dark Pulse, which is perfect. Now this is resisted because of the Fairy typing. And let's see what they decide to do here. They're still staying in, which is pretty good, right? Wigglytuff actually has a pretty positive matchup against Alolan Buck when shields are up, because all I have to do is basically shield the Sludge Wave, right? Because we're doing so much damage with these charms. I'm going to shield this up, probably going to be a Sludge Wave or a Gunk Shot, but they actually go for the Dark Pulse. I'm not sure why. Probably they were trying to bait out a shield there, but doesn't matter. We're able to take it out. And now they come in with their Alolan Sand Slash. I'm going to go for the Play Rough here. Obviously, Ice Beam is double resisted, whereas Play Rough is only single resisted and also has Stab. So, and it gets the shield as well. That is perfect. And I'm going to wait for them to throw their charge move right now. They're going to throw a charge move. This is going to be an Ice Punch, which is probably going to finish off my Wigglytuff here. And now I can just, yeah, I'm just going to come in with Charizard and melt this thing. Right now, Alolan Sand Slash is double weak to fire because of the Ice and Steel typing. And I can basically fast move farm this thing down. So I'm going to shield this up as well because Ice Punch would do quite a bit of damage. And I'm hoping that I can farm it down before they can get to another one. But they actually make a switch into their Shadow Machamp. So I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw to bait out a shield so that I can go for the Blast Burn immediately thereafter. But they actually let that go through, which is really interesting. So I'm going to go for another Dragon Claw here. They're definitely going to have to shield this if they want to preserve their Machamp. And yeah, they do shield that this time. And now I'm going to switch into my Alolan Raichu and get off a Thunder Punch as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, they're able to get to a charge move first. Now, if this is Rock Slide, it's going to do a lot of damage. And we survived like 1 HP, and now basically it's a double KO, right? This is fantastic now because I can come into Charizard and completely Fire Spin farm this Alolan Sand Slash down. So again, Charizard is another, it just absolutely melts Alolan Sand Slash. Even Alolan Marowak pretty much does that, but with Charizard, it's an even better matchup because you don't have to worry about Bulldoze, right? Because even that is resisted, so it's, you know, it's such a great matchup. So we are 4-0 in this set right now. Let's see if we can finish on a positive note. We have Charizard into a Hypno. Not a great matchup because most Hypnos run Thunder Punch. So I'm going to try and get off this Blast Burn as quickly as possible. I'm hoping they let this go through because most Hypnos don't like to shield because Hypno is just so tanky. But they actually do shield that, which is very smart play on their part. So I'm going to switch in my Alolan Raichu to catch the Thunder Punch, or at least what I thought would be a Thunder Punch. But unfortunately, they go for the Shadow Ball, right? That just one-shots my Alolan Raichu there, and basically we wasted a full health Pokemon. So it's very difficult to recover from that kind of situation. So I'm going to come in with Wigglytuff and try and go for the Charm Farm down. Unfortunately, they have a Beedrill in the back and we basically switch locked right now. I can't even switch into my Charizard because my switch timer is not back up yet. And I'm going to let this go through. It is a Fell Stinger, and now is basically their Poison Jabs are boosted, right? So I'm going to try and get off a Charge Move. Unfortunately, probably we're not able to. Yeah, they're actually going to throw a Charge Move right now, and it's going to be a Fell Stinger. It's going to take us out. It's basically up to Charizard with 2 shields to finish off this game. So I'm going to come in with Charizard and Fire Spin farm this Beedrill down, and it's just GG's at this point. They have a Lapras, and also they have a Water Gun Lapras as well. So there's not a lot I can do. I'm going for the Blast Burn here. This is probably going to get the shield from the Lapras. Yeah, even if they didn't have shields, they could have survived that, and we basically go down with 2 shields there. So maybe unnecessary. I probably could have stayed in the Charizard versus Hypno matchup. Probably didn't have to switch into my Alolan Raichu. Basically, just losing a full health Alolan Raichu without having done anything obviously is a huge blow. But overall, as you can see, a pretty positive set. 4-1. This team worked really well for me, and it's a team that you can probably, if you want to try Charizard in Team Comp, I would highly recommend this Team Comp because it's really solid, and like I said, has fantastic matchups against most of what you're going to run into. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.